when we need to assess Manchester United's dealings in the transfer market. Plenty of outgoings, and you do wonder how much that's going to balance the books as well in terms of wages. I would warrant that was a substantial amount saved for Manchester United. What do you make of the incomings, though, Sharpie?
I've been very impressed, to be fair. I think it's the first transfer window where I've looked at United and gone, do you know what, they've done some good business. I think De Ligt, Zirkzee, both look really good. Who's the centre-back who's injured? Euro, I think, looks really good, and maybe even not for right now, but you know, for down the line, a season or two. He's only a young lad. I think they've been fantastic. I think in the past they've been accused of signing players for social media rather than for performance on the pitch and to fit into a system. I think these all fit into the system. I think they're young. I think they're all athletic and full of energy, so they'll go and do the press like Ten Hag wants to do. And you know, the proof is in the pudding, and only time will tell, but at the moment they seem to be really good.
Yeah. Mazraoui looks great as well.
Mazraoui, sorry.
Okay,
Mazraoui.
Before we expand on Mazraoui, can I just throw in his injury record heading into this season? So last year he missed 96 days, last season I should say. Season before he missed 72, season before that 56, and 107 days the season before that. Now, some players will go their entire career being injury prone, it seems. Do you think that's a bit of a risky move? Gary first?
Well, I think
for the money paid,
the homework will have been done, and that will have been something that they've considered, they've factored into it. But again, a player before he signs for any top club in the English Premier League goes through a thorough medical, and clearly they've made a decision that no, that isn't a gamble. And you know, United have been unlucky. You know, look at Mason Mount last season, a big signing for them, and he hardly played because of injuries. You know, look at Luke Shaw. I know he's been at the club a long time, but he's had some real injury problems of late. And of course, soon after he joined the club, he got that terrible leg fracture as well, didn't he? So, you know, it's an occupational hazard. You can sign a player who's got a perfect record as far as injuries are concerned, and you lose him for bad luck.
I don't think they had much choice, United. They let Wan-Bissaka go, so they needed to
bring in a replace. Yeah,
he's a good fit. He's quick. He's strong. He's good in the air. He gets forward. Yeah. So
he's a manager from before.
Yeah, he's worked with him before, but his injury record is a problem for me. I mean, he seems a bit brittle. We were having a conversation before about Adam Lallana, fantastic player, but really brittle and unavailable most of the time. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, question marks there, and definitely something to keep an eye on. What about De Ligt? I mean, your first start for Manchester United, Sharpie, and it's in, I would argue, the biggest game of the league season at least. And it's the Liverpool match, and I'm just wondering, he did brilliantly at Ajax, there's no question about that. Under Ten Hag, he knows him, but he didn't succeed at Juventus as much as you would have hoped for him, nor at Bayern Munich. Both clubs seemingly happy to sell him on.
Yeah, well, there's obviously a personal connection with Ten Hag. I was very surprised last week when he brought him on with 15-20 minutes to go, and they were a little bit under the cosh, and he brought Maguire off, and it ultimately led to Man United losing the game. It's obviously what he wants to do. He's been desperate to get him in. You usually give players time to get used to the club and used to the surroundings, but he's dropped him straight in, and a baptism of fire in a home tie against Liverpool. So he trusts him, obviously. He's going to back him, and I think we'll.
He looks like a leader as well.
Yeah, he looks like an athlete and a really strong defender that's good on the ball and can come out with it. So I'm guessing that's why he wants him on.
But the obvious point you're making, Adam, is the fact that of the 4 clubs he's now played for, Ajax are the smaller of those clubs. You know, Juventus is huge, Bayern Munich is huge, Manchester United is huge. So it is a big test for him, definitely. I personally think he's a top player. And sometimes, when you go to Juventus or you go to Bayern Munich, dependent upon who you're playing alongside, it just doesn't work out. But he needs to succeed here at Manchester United, for sure.
A quick mention of the players that left. McTominay.
Yeah.
McTominay, Nemanja Matic, who in his prime was one of the best in his position, going out onto Twitter, now known as X, to say that was a mistake.
I think he's picking up on what the fans feel, because the fans feel they had a connection to McTominay, obviously a academy graduate, and they had that connection. He was passionate, he used to work hard, so they had that connection through that. So, but looking over their recruitment over the course of this transfer window. I think they've obviously strengthened in the centre-back area, they've strengthened the right-back, they've strengthened in the defensive midfielder, which was really important for them. I think the jury's still out a little bit on Xerxes. I think he's got a decent goal scoring record, but I think in the Premier League, I'm not sure entirely how he's going to fit into that. But the jury's out on that one. I think they could do with a more prolific striker in that 9, if I'm honest, for Manchester United. But yeah, they've managed to get the likes of Greenwood off the books completely, which was a good bit of business. That was a dark cloud hanging over the club. They got Sancho, who was a bit of a bad egg, and he was a bit disruptive in the dressing room, so they've managed to get him off the book. So, obviously the backroom team have been really decisive. So, in all, it looks like it's been a good transfer window for Manchester United.